Hello everybody, my name is Luke Marr and this is Hot Love Mode, and today on Hot Love Mode we are going to be talking about Dolce & Gabbana being racist for like the 17th time this year. This time they really did it, but if anybody didn't see this coming, get your eyes checked. So I do apologize about how I look, what I'm wearing. I wasn't expecting this whole escapade to happen because I shampooed my hair, I conditioned my hair so it doesn't look good today. I don't have any clothes to wear. I'm wearing my dad's Mao Zedong jacket in cashmere. It's nice, I do appreciate it. So for my appearance, I apologize, but this is a real out of nowhere video that I'm now filming. But we're gonna be talking about Dolce & Gabbana. They're racist, if you didn't know. Essentially, Dolce & Gabbana has had a very problematic past where they've been homophobic, racist, misogynistic, all these awful things. If you guys want to watch the video where I explain some of Dolce & Gabbana's recent transgressions against everybody, you can click on this thing, the thing, you know, the eye, whatever. So you should probably watch that before you watch this video because it gives you a full background as to why Dolce & Gabbana is just trash in general. We love to sa la cha, which essentially means spill the tea in Chinese. Doesn't make any grammatical sense, but I'm here to educate the children, you know? We gotta sa la cha. Essentially, the story starts out with Dolce & Gabbana wanting to advertise their Alta Moda show in Shanghai. Now, Alta Moda is Dolce & Gabbana's version of haute couture. They don't play to the industry schedule, so they show their collections whenever they want. They don't care. They're not owned by any big conglomerate, so they do whatever they feel. So often, Dolce & Gabbana goes on the road to show these collections. They'll come to the US, they'll go all throughout Europe, they'll go to Asia. So Dolce & Gabbana is showing in Shanghai, China. So to prepare and to promote this event, Dolce & Gabbana decided that they would put out some advertisements. And these advertisements essentially were a Chinese model being interviewed about eating Italian food. At least that's what I could understand from it, because it was spoken in Mandarin and it was also subtitled in Mandarin. I am in my second semester of Chinese. I'm not perfect at Chinese, far from it. So I couldn't exactly understand a majority of what was being said. I could make out a few characters, but that was about it. Now, when I watched the ads, I essentially was like, okay, this is Dolce & Gabbana relying on stereotypes to promote their products, which, you know, for anybody else, I'd be like, that's awful, how dare they? This is disgusting. But it's Dolce & Gabbana, and I mean, you can only say you're racist assholes so many times. I originally was like, okay, you know, those are the ads, that's what they're doing, it's gross. We know that though, that's it. And I prefer to ignore Dolce & Gabbana when I can, to not give them the airtime that they want so badly. Well, other people were very upset by the ads, obviously, so they started to post them on their Instagram stories, and they added Dolce & Gabbana's account. They added Stefano Gabbana, who is the real firecracker of the brand, and not a fun firecracker, a scary firecracker. But people were adding them in their DMs. Well, you know Stefano Gabbana. That bitch is here to come through in the DMs and let you know what's going on. So Stefano started to go back, started attacking these people in the DMs. So people started to send them to Diet Prada, which is the account that really sparked the whole Dolce & Gabbana Instagram social media experience that we currently have. So Diet Prada posted these DMs, and essentially they're from the verified account of Stefano Gabbana, and it says, "It was deleted from Chinese social media because my office is stupid as the superiority of the Chinese. It was by my will, I never canceled the post. And from now on, in all of the interviews that I will do, international, I will say that the country of shit," or poop emojis, "is China. And you are also quiet that we will live very well without you. China, ignorant, dirty, smelling mafia. Ha ha ha, you think I'm afraid about your post? Ha 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 ha." That's just the first slide. "All the worldwide know your attitude, for example, with the dogs. So at this point, you are more racist than our. We celebrate the dogs we cannot eat, but we love and we live with. The person responded, first of all, if you have to ask this way, then si amore mio, I think you're stupid. I wonder why has it been deleted from your other Chinese social media in the first place? Allora, Stefano? And congratulations, I think you've answered my question if you're a racist yourself. Stefano responded, why you think is racist that video? You think we are stupid to come in China and post a wrong video? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark? Is a tribute. Tell me now. If the Chinese feel offended by a girl who spells pizza or pasta with chopsticks, means that those Chinese feel inferior, and then it's a problem, not ours. The whole world knows that the Chinese eat with chopsticks and that Westerners with a fork and knife. Is this racism? Question mark, question mark. Ha 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 ha, you are not comfortable with the brain. So you are racist because you eat dogs? Question mark. Stefano continued, I know, my dear, and I love all the people can see all the fake news about me. They make me more strong. Fake news? Question mark. You call racism fake news? We are racist for what? Question mark. Tell me. Okay, how is the campaign celebrating Chinese culture? Do you genuinely think that was a respectful and tasteful portrayal? Question mark. You tell me. Why you think is racist that video? You think we are stupid to come in China and post a wrong video is a tribute. So that's where we're at with this whole Dolce & Gabbana thing. So Diet Prada put it out into the airwaves. They added Dolce & Gabbana. They said, this is who this is coming from. And people kind of went crazy. And Diet Prada is a really, really big account with people that are both in and out of China. Now, for some of you that may not know, China doesn't really use social media the way that we do. We use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of these different apps. China has multiple apps. There's WeChat and Weibo and all of these other different social media apps, but they essentially wrap Facebook and Uber and Venmo and all of these different apps all into one big app. And they're extremely popular, and that's kind of where the majority of Chinese people get their social media news and find information and share posts. I believe that somebody that has access to Western social media found the posts and reposted them on WeChat or Weibo, and in China, the post popped off. Now, let me just say that if you're posting shit saying that the country that you are trying to get into the wallet of eats dogs, which is a racist and inaccurate stereotype, they're probably not gonna be very happy, and they're definitely not gonna buy your stuff. Ever. And from what I understand of Chinese culture, I mean, I don't know a whole lot, but when Chinese people don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you. So. Stefano, 你家女人 操你妈, 操你祖宗西巴呆. That's all the Chinese curse words I know. Let's continue to bagua, for those of you who speak a little bit of Mandarin. So after these big posts on WeChat and Weibo got literally everywhere, a lot of the celebrities started to drop out of this Dolce & Gabbana show. They were like, bye bitch, like we're out. As they should be. And then essentially a lot of the magazine editors and popular social media stars in China started to drop out and essentially work to get this Dolce & Gabbana show in Shanghai canceled. Essentially 120 models from multiple Chinese modeling agencies were like, Zaijian. So Stefano responded that both Dolce & Gabbana's actual Instagram account had been hacked and that his own personal Instagram account had been hacked. Here's the thing, maybe if this was out of the blue and we'd never heard anything from Stefano Gabbana on social media, you could say, oh, okay, like, we should investigate. But considering he's called Selena Gomez ugly, he said awful things about gay parents, he's just awful all around on social media for literally no reason, this is not like a shocking thing. And then the Chinese government was all like, okay, so now we're gonna really put the kibosh on this experience. So China as a whole was like, Zaijian, and essentially canceled the show. Apparently, Stefano and Domenico were up with the police. A lot of the workers that were actually working on the show from Dolce & Gabbana were having their temporary work visas redacted and all of these different things. So Dolce & Gabbana as a whole is just not really having the best time, but their founder has brought it upon himself. Now we're hearing rumors that apparently Stefano is going to be dropped from the label because this has gone too far. Has everything prior to this not gone too far? Like, it's such bullshit. And now here in the Western social media world, we're having fashion magazines who take great amounts of money from Dolce & Gabbana for advertising, not explicitly calling the brand out for being racist. So honestly, it's a really shitty situation, and I'm personally hoping that Dolce & Gabbana kind of just shutters. The brand is no longer necessary. It's not needed. It's a multi-billion-dollar company that does not really produce anything besides like nice dresses for multiple sizes of women, which we can change that. We can have other brands do that, and other brands do that now. So it's just not terribly necessary. And I really do think that there are a lot of other brands that do really great work, and that money could be spread around to people that aren't racist, ignorant fucking assholes. So that's my thoughts. Yeah, it's just not really that shocking. It's just shitty that like people have to endure this for Dolce & Gabbana to really be shown as the racist assholes that they are. I don't think any of the things that are being said to people and the things being said about a whole country's people should have to happen for us to be able to say, yeah, they're trash. Like, we need to stop recognizing them as a brand and stop recognizing them as somebody that we should be giving our money to. You know, I just think it's shitty and shouldn't be happening. But hopefully this is the last that we hear from Dolce & Gabbana. I'm crossing my fingers, but I'm not sure. It really depends on what happens with the big magazines. It really depends on what happens with Dolce & Gabbana as a whole, if they're actually gonna fire Stefano. Like, it's really a very complicated situation, and obviously there is a lot of updating to be done on the story. So I mean, in reality, I would keep up to date with Diet Prada on the story. They've really like taken the reins on it. They are the ones that have just kind of like hit it out of the park and really exposed Dolce & Gabbana for being the racist assholes that they are. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know what you guys think about this whole racist Dolce & Gabbana thing in the comments below. I want to read your comments. Let's discuss. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Eastern and Western perspectives. Like, there's a lot in this situation that we can get out of it and learn from. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, and TTYL.